we present My Music, a new musical panel game devised by Edward J. Mason and Tony Shryane. And here to introduce the two teams is your chairman, Steve Race.
Thank you. Hello and welcome to another My Music with David Franklin and Frank Muir versus Ian Wallace and Denis Norden. First round. A round of famous waltzes and polkas by Johann Strauss II. For 2 marks, please, simply the title. David.
This is a waltz by Johann Strauss.
Yeah, that is correct. Yes, that is correct.
As to what it is, if you insist upon going into that, dare I ask if it's got metallic connotations?
No. You dare ask, but it hasn't. Yes, you did ask. It hasn't got metallic connotations, no.
Oh.
Something happened to the tempo, which ought to give you a clue.
Something happened to the
You
tempo.
don't know, I'm afraid, do you? No, don't know. Right.
No.
It's the acceleration waltz.
Oh.
See? Right.
Romantic name.
Denis.
And they're at Beecher's Brook now and approaching the last bend. Approaching the last bend. By Jove, he's down, he's down. This,
Yes.
if that was acceleration, this is sort of top gear. Thunder and Lightning.
Thunder and Lightning waltz or Thunder and Lightning polka?
Polka.
Yes. Thunder and Lightning polka it is. Astonishing. Yep. 2 marks, yes. Ian.
Could be gold and silver.
It isn't, though.
No, I didn't think it was.
I could give you 2 imperial marks if you get this one right.
Green, Daniel.
The Emperor waltz.
Yes. The Emperor waltz, after a heavy clue. Hissing from the audience, 1 mark only there, Ian. Generous to a fault.
I agree, it's
Yeah.
very generous.
And Frank.
Turach, polka. I know this terribly well.
Yes, that's right. 2 marks, you're right. A round of musical knowledge questions, general knowledge questions about music. For 2 marks, David Franklin, this may be a little difficult, but I'm sure you'll know the answer. Who composed the Cat Fugue, and whence came his inspiration?
Debussy.
Brucey. Who composed the Cat Fugue?
Cat Fugue, yes.
Cat's Fugue?
It's known as the Cat Fugue or the Cat's Fugue. Yes.
Really?
Bum, 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 bum. It goes up like that.
No, I've no idea.
Don't know? No? Well, you don't need to know who composed it to have a guess as to where his inspiration came from.
From a cat.
Doing what?
Oh, really?
Ignore him, David. Doing what did you say?
Chasing its own tail?
No, I tried to give it to you. Domenico Scarlatti wrote a harpsichord fugue said to be inspired by his cat jumping on the keys and walking along them. Hence
Kitten
the
on the
Cat
keys.
Fugue. Yeah, it's like Kitten on the Keys, exactly, yes.
Well, I'm glad.
Chopin was said to have had a similar experience too with one of his pieces. Anyway, no marks, I'm afraid.
With one of his pieces.
Yes, she got on the keyboard and walked up and down. Dennis, don't be argumentative. You've got enough trouble coming up with your own question. With which French artistes do you particularly associate, or should
I'm very
you?
rarely associated anyway.
I nearly beat you to it. Should you particularly associate the following songs? 1, 2, and 3. 1, Le Fiacre.
Oh, golly, I hate that song. That
Yes.
Jean Sablon, they always explain it in English first.
Jean
and they
Sablon,
don't
yes.
have to bother because we all know. No.
Yes, that's right. This is a song about...
This is a song about, and he goes, and the Oz band is coming, and all that.
And the great
draggy
howl of laughter when
Yes.
they come to the payoff line at the end.
right.
C'est mon mari, yes, that's right. Le Fiacre, Jean Sablon, you get your mark, or you'll get your, whatever it is, a third of 2 marks for that. The second one is La Mer.
That's Charles Trenet.
Yes, that's right. And
Gigi.
Milord.
Milord
Milord.
was taken over by Frank Yvon, but was originally Edith Piaf.
Yes, that's your 3 answers and your 2 marks. Ian Wallace, with what do you associate the name Marjorie Kennedy Fraser?
Folk songs in Scotland.
Yes.
Scottish collecting, mostly Hebridean
Yes.
folk songs.
Yes, her life work was the collection, arrangement and publication of the songs of the Hebrides in 4 volumes. Yes, very good, yes. She lived from 1857 to 1930, and you get 2 marks. Frank, where in music might you find a gnome, some chickens, a marketplace, and rather a large gate?
In a monastery garden.
Is the gnome a gnome?
Yes, it's a gnome, yes, that's right.
A gnome?
Is it a suite of some sort where each of these are described in turn?
Yes, I think I better bring the total down to 1.5 before we go any further. Yes. Yes. Where in music, or indeed in which art gallery, might you find these things?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
you've got all the time.
Mussorgsky.
Yes.
Mussorgsky.
The Mussorgsky Art Gallery.
For 1 mark.
Just from an exhibition.
Ah, in Mussorgsky, these are pieces, pictures from an exhibition, describing these pictures of this
gnome.
big gate open and the gnome.
Ballet of
And the-
Unhatched Chickens, the Marketplace at Limoges, the Great Gate of Kiev, and the 2 answers I...
It was originally written for the piano,
And
told the
afterwards-
listeners,
afterwards orchestrated.
and
Mussorgsky
afterwards was subject to orchestration.
by... Do you, yes, by, do you know who, David?
No, by about
Well, several
4
people.
years after.
No, much later.
Everybody's orchestrated
Well, yes,
this.
notably Ravel.
Notably
It's a
Ravel.
very semi-well-known piece.
In this next round, please, I want you to imagine you're sitting in an old-time cinema watching a silent film. All blood and thunder and raw emotions. A silent cinema. An enthusiastic pianist, in this case I have to admit it's me, is trying his best to suit the music to the action. For 2 marks, what exactly is happening on the screen? And for a 3rd mark, who's the star or stars most suitable to play the lead? So, the action and the stars as you see them, as you imagine them. David Franklin.
Well, there's this cliff. And Pearl White is hanging over it on a thread. And the villain's just getting his knife out, ready to cut it, when it says on the screen to be continued next week.
Yes. Oh,
I loved that scene every time I saw it.
Yes. I think that gets you certainly your 2 marks for the part and undoubtedly your 1 mark for the star. Pearl White, it must have been, for 3 marks. And we turn for another one to Denis Norden.
Look behind you. I would say Lon Chaney
Yes.
starring. And fearsome music. It's a horror film, Creaking Door.
Yes, there were meant to be some little pretty bits here and there representing somebody in trouble, but still, yes, you're right, you get your 3 marks for that. I never expected anybody would get less than 3 marks in this round. And some silent cinema piano music for Ian.
This is a film where Edgar Kennedy
Date yourself.
has made an arrangement with a friend and the friend is going to go to a fancy dress ball as a gorilla. And just before this sequence that we've heard comes, you see a montage with newspapers which say gorilla escapes from circus in the town. And he is standing in his living room when the door opens, and what he thinks is his friend in a gorilla's costume comes in, but it is in fact the gorilla that's escaped from the circus. And he goes up to it, and it goes like that music did, and he says, "Now, come on, don't be ridiculous, don't be ridiculous," and tries to shake hands with the gorilla. And at the end of that sequence, this is as he suddenly realizes that his friend has altered very strangely since he last saw him.
Do you know, that's exactly what I got written down here. Or it would be if I got anything written down. Yes, 3 marks. And Edgar Kennedy was the star, wasn't he? 3 marks, yes. And there can't be a listener in the world who doesn't know which piece of music is coming up now from Frank Muir.
Well, there's Anna Neagle standing there, and the snow's coming down, and she's got this bundle which is dropped on its head, and the Alsatian has trodden in something and hurt its paw, so there's no help for there, and tears are rolling down her cheeks, and suddenly she sees through the driving snow the tall, handsome figure of her chap friend. And as it gets nearer, suddenly the features change, and it's not him at all, but it's the villain.
Oh, yes. You're not going to leave us there, are you?
That's how your music left.
Yes, it did, that's true. Yes, Anna Neagle in a silent film, that was it? Yeah.
Well, there's a talkie, but there's nothing going on there. Apart from the dog whiffling.
Yeah, you'll get your 3 marks anyway. And, around concerning famous musicals, can you give me, for 1 mark, the name of the show from which the song comes, and for the other mark, the name of the composer? Music coming up then for David Franklin.
You are my heart's delight, and where you are, I long to be. You make my darkness bright, when like a star you shine on me.
Change. Keep it going. I want another couple of minutes.
The show and the composer.
The show is... The song was You Are My Heart's Delight, which is a great part played by Richard Tauber. It was written by Franz Lehar. And for the life of me, I can't think of the name of the... I was going to say the oratorio, but it isn't.
Teeth.
What? Teeth.
Somebody's making a
cheese. There's
cheese.
Well, make it a bit louder. I can't see what.
Somebody in the audience is grinning at you, David.
Oh, Land of Smiles.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Next time this happens, smile a bit louder, will you?
1 mark out of 2 for that.
Well, what more do you want? I gave you the name of the man.
Yes, you get a mark for that.
And the name of the show.
Came from the lady in the front row. She gets the other mark. Very good, madam.
Very good from her.
Denis, listen to this.
Yes, that came from Gigi, which is by Lerner and Lowe.
Yes, but so the composer would be...
The composer would...
That's a Gigi of another colour, isn't it?
Yes. Lowe.
Lowe. Yes. Lowe. Yes, Frederick Lowe. All right. Yes, 2 marks. Very good. And Ian, your turn.
In September when the grapes are burnt, Marguerite pick the grapes with me. There are silver bells upon her fingers, all the little birds come out to see. Oh,
We're in the realms of one of the shows put on by that Prince of Impresarios, C.B. Cochrane. The music was by Vivian Ellis, the words by Alan Herbert. Bless the Bride.
Yes, Bless the Bride, Vivian Ellis. Too much. And some music for Frank.
If a custom-tailored vet asks me out for something wet, when the vet begins to pet, I cry, hooray! But I'm always true to you, darling, in my fashion. Yes, I'm always true to you, darling, in my way.
Show and composer.
Show within a show.
Yes.
Composer Cole Porter. Show Kiss Me Kate.
Yes. Based on a story by...
Taming of the Shrew by W. Shakespeare. In many ways, I think an underrated playwright.
2 marks there. Gilbert and Sullivan. You'll hear a song now from one of the Savoy operas. And for 2 marks, I want the name of the opera and the name or rank of the character who sings the song. Mark for each. David.
I am a courtier grave and serious, who is about to kiss your hand. Try to combine a pose imperious with a demeanor nobly bland. Let us combine a pose imperious with a demeanor nobly bland.
They're not your forte, are they, I think, David? Gilbert and Sullivan?
No, I was going to say, with unerring precision, Edward Mason has put his finger on my blind spot. I don't know.
Very painful.
All Gilbert and Sullivan, this is probably blasphemy, but all Gilbert and Sullivan sounds the same to me.
Well,
I just don't know.
I'll pass on the letters when they come to you. This comes from my favourite Savoy opera, actually, The Gondoliers. It's sung by the Duke of Plaza Toro. And it's,
Really?
it's the title line, I am a courtier grave and serious. That's no marks, I'm afraid. We'll see how Denis is with G and S. Denis, is yours.
For your green you were crossing the channel and tossing about in a steamer from Harwich, which is something between a large bathing machine and a very small second-class carriage. And you're giving a treat, penny ice and cold meat, to a party of friends and relations. They're a ravenous horde, and they all came at board of Sloan Square and South Kensington Station.
Yeah, I knew it was the Nightmare song, but I didn't know what from. But Ian has kindly written it. I believe, Ian, I've heard you sing this.
No. Oh, thank you for
It
the
must
compliment.
have been Nellie Wallace. I'm sorry. No. It's Iolanthe, according to Ian, without whose help.
Yes, it wasn't Nellie Wallace, it was the Lord Chancellor. Sung by the Lord Chancellor in the show. You get a mark then for your Iolanthe. Ian, your turn.
The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty, he scorns to tell a story. He don't exclaim, I blush for shame, so kindly indulgent, but fierce and bold in fiery bold, he glories all.
That comes from that town of Titipu,
Yes.
otherwise known as the Mikado, and is indeed the princess. So that's her rank.
Well, I've got a name down here, or 2 names, actually.
You've got 2 names down
Yes.
there, have you? Oh, gracious.
Connected, as a friend of mine would have it, by a siphon.
Well, it's not Princess Soda, obviously.
Well, it says down here, it says here, yum yum.
Oh, yes.
Yum, yum,
Yes.
yummy.
Yes, she's coming to me again.
Yummy, yummy. Good for you. Yeah. You get 2 marks there.
Thank you.
And Gilbert and Sullivan still for Frank Muir.
It is sung to the moon by a lovelorn loon who fled from the mocking throng. Oh, it's a song of a merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb as he sighed for the love of a lady. Hey, dee, misery me, black lady, is sipped no summit, he craved no crown, as he sighed for the love of the day.
Frank.
Far be it for me to dabble in the works of these two great masters, Gilbert and Sullivan, so herewith a recitation. Breathes a man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said... Do I get any marks for a substitute?
What?
It's, I don't really know Gilbert and Sullivan all that much.
No.
This is a beautiful, light, lyrical love piece, and I have no idea where it comes from. Except the All for the Love of a Lady is a very, very good phrase indeed.
Yeah, it's also a lovely bit of tune, I always think that.
It is,
yeah, Song of Many Man Moping Mum, I have a song. It's from the Yeoman of the Guard, sung by Jack Point. This is the long-awaited moment when the contestants emerge as singers of rare sensibility and virtuosity. Graham Daly will play some well-known airs on the mighty mellotron, and for a maximum of 3 marks, I'm going to ask the team members to continue in song. David.
If those lips could only speak, if you'd only take my hand as you did when you took my name, but it's only a beautiful picture in a beautiful golden frame.
Yes, very nice for 3 marks. Denis.
Always. This is about a lady who a chap is in love with, and he wants to marry her. And he marries her, and he finds that when he gets home at night, she talks to him. And she talks, and she talks, and she talks. Not for just an hour, not for just a week, not for just a month, but always.
Yes, 3 marks there.
There's a strain of old vaudeville revived there.
The strain of the ham in you, isn't it?
I thought you were going to do the one about I'll be loving you in hallways.
I toyed with it, yes. I'll be loving you always, is the other one.
Here's one for Ian.
When I was born apprentice in famous Lincolnshire, full well I served my master for more than 7 years. Oh, 'tis my delight on a shining night in the season of the year. Ha
I'm afraid you're wrong. The gentleman on the mellotron was playing, oh, it's nice to get up in the morning when the sun begins to shine. At 4 or 5.
Oh, my brother jokes a baker, and he sleeps along with me. At 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock, he has a cup of tea. I know it has a bit that goes up when the snow is snowing and it's murky overhead. Oh, it's nice to get up in the morning, aye, but it's nicer to lie in your bed, aye. Oh, aye. Too late.
No, you get one of your marks back for that. I couldn't resist that. Frank, I don't think you can confuse this tune with another tune with the same tune, but we'll see when you hear this tune. All the vegetables in correct order,
this is the title song for a musical based on Emile Zola's novel Nana. It goes, Gosh, I don't know how far I'll get. It goes, yes, we have no bananas.
We have no
Do you mind?
bananas. I'm just prompting. You always have a prompter in the opera house.
Today, we've brought beans like bunions, and big Spanish onions, and all sorts of fruit. And say,
Yes.
we've got...
Spanish potato.
No, we got an old-fashioned potato.
No, the other one.
And a New Jersey tomato. But yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today.
Oh, yes, 3 marks. You didn't mention the cabarges, and you got a bit confused, but 3 marks just
Where's
the
the
same for
cabarges,
that, you know. Well, you said something about nice, juicy... we've broad beans like bunions, cabarges and onions.
Oh, that's all right.
It says here on my shopping list in front of me.
My apologies for the vegetable world.
I'm afraid that brings us to the end of this edition of My Music, in which Ian Wallace and Denis Norden win by 3 marks. Goodbye.
Taking part in My Music were David Franklin, Denis Norden, Frank Muir and Ian Wallace. The chairman was Steve Race. At the Mellotron was Graham Daly. The questions were compiled by Edward J. Mason, and the program, which was recorded, was produced by Tony Shryane.